Okay, we're back with this image.
Thank you. So the first thing that we always learn is the primordial sound. As the word came first, as we know, it's also followed by a sound, and the sound was Om. And you may have seen this symbol. Every time we start any practice, we start with an Om. So I would like to invite everyone to just join me for a long Om. And we just keep our spine erect and we inhale for an Om. Om. Thank you so much. Now that our voices are synchronized, we can move forward into the understanding of what it is about. So, the symbol Om represents many things. So, we can see there are three major arches, and we're going to dive deep into what the arches are about and how to really pronounce Om. So, we can go on to the next slide where it says AUM. Because the correct way to do Aum is A-O-M. And
This one?
yeah,
2 secs, guys.
yeah. So with Om, it's usually if we're doing it very fast, we do it Om.
We have some technical difficulty, but don't worry, it's happening. Yes.
Yes, thank you.
Amazing.
So as we can see, it's AUM. So even if as humans we are taught how to communicate, some humans don't have the ability to use the tongue well, so they are basically not able to speak effectively or can communicate with the world. But still, they can create some sounds. So even for a person who cannot speak, the first thing if they open their mouth and if they create a sound, is ah, without rolling their tongue or creating any type of tension, contraction. So ah is the first sound, then oo is the second, and ma is the third. So ah, followed by silence. So it's actually a four sound Mahabija mantra. And Maha means great, and Bija means seed. So it is a sound which is a great seed sound. And every Hindu mantra starts usually with a Om. So just to enter any mantra, we will always purify the space through a Om chanting. And the correct way is A, O, Ma, followed by silence. A represents the process of creation. We can create. U stands for sustenance, to sustain this universe, to sustain the creation. And Ma sounds for pure destruction, demolition, fire. So, and once we combine all three, we get the three god archetypes in Hinduism, which is Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, the three major heroes of this movie. and and through understanding what these archetypes are, we can understand what our role is as well in any given situation, because every present brings us to a role of, do I want to create something here? Do I want to sustain the creation that's already going on here? Or do I need to destroy and disrupt everything in order for divine creation to happen again? Because it's only after divine destruction you can go back into creation. So it's this cycle that we can follow. And now we can go into the next slide.
Yes.
So far, so good. If anyone has a question, they can just click on that raised hand option and we can address that
Is it this one?
later.
This?
It's just the first curve.
This one.
Yeah.
Yes. Lovely.
Thank you. So we go on to the Om symbol, the Mahabija mantra. And the first curve that we're going to study is the bottom curve. And the bottom curve, it states for the waking state of our daily life, because we operate as humans on a three state of awareness. One is the first is the waking state, which we are in at the moment. We are conscious, we are aware about what's going on in this present. So once we understand that we are conscious, we are aware, we can sometimes need to also rest and relax. So we go from, in Sanskrit, this state is known as Jagrat, Jagrat. From Jagrat, we go on to another state of consciousness, which is the next slide we're going to show.
Yeah.
So from Jagrat, we enter into the dream state, which is called Swapna. And in Swapna, usually when we are, resting, we start to dream. Even sometimes in the waking state, we start to dream. We are not really present. Our mind takes us on a journey, and there are many clouds that we go through, and we feel that's the reality because our mind is traveling there now. So this curve represents the state of dreaming, and as dreamers, we can create anything in the dream, and sometimes we can even get trapped in the dream. So the Om symbolism is so profound that it is explaining us on different states of consciousness. And then we move on to this another curve, which is representing the top curve represents the sleep state or the deep sleep state. So from the waking state, from Jagrat to the dreaming state to Swapna, and the sleep state, the deep sleep state, which is Susupti in Sanskrit. And in this state, we are completely unaware, totally unconscious about what's going on. We are just not able to remember as well. Even if it's a dream going on, we are in deep sleep. It's total, we can say, state like coma. It's just simply not present at all. And as humans, we have these three states which we go back and forth. Depends on our diet, depends upon our community, depends upon the water that we drink, depends upon the state of our consciousness, depends upon our past karmic activities, how much access we have to penetrate consciousness, and how much good karma from the past that we have done that we can receive some information to ascend, to evolve as human beings into higher realms, into better state of consciousness, into pure joy, love. In Sanskrit, we say Sachitanand, truth, bliss, and consciousness. And simply being aware is a state of blissfulness. So now we go on to the next one, and this is where it gets interesting. Yeah.
Yes.
So now we see that how through these states there is this the dash on the top, and the dash on the top it represents Maya, and many may know who Maya is, and for the ones who don't know, I will introduce her to you now. So Maya is like a veil of illusion on this planet. It's kept here, she's here, it's a feminine force, it's like a dark feminine, we can say. She's here to keep the person from seeking truth and keeping him or her in their illusion of mind, is to create constant illusions in the mind so as to not penetrate the truth within their hearts. So she's here basically playing this game of illusion. She's super good at her job, and she's 24/7 active, especially in your dream. She's super active. So this veil, this Maya, she's sort of like a demi-goddess, we can say. And we've been smitten as a human species by this veil of illusion, because once she penetrates, once she starts to work, we also can create delusion in our heads. But the best part is that once we start to become aware about her tricks, about her gimmicks, about how she works, about how we can call it out, she sort of loses her power. We can come into our own truth immediately in the present as soon as we become aware about it. So, just remembrance and awareness is the key to understand the nature of Maya, because she's here and we are here as well. We're all playing the game together. It's a cosmic play, it's a game of energies, it's a game of just, it's a dance, I would say. It's a cosmic dance. So, once we can understand how Maya is working, and through the power of our own hearts and awareness, we can transcend her, we can transmute this energy into the next state, which will go on the next slide. Thank you. So now we gonna explore what the dot means. So this is Brahman, and Brahman is the ultimate reality, pure awareness, Sachitanand, truth, bliss, and consciousness. To attain the ultimate reality, to attain Brahman, one needs to transcend all three states of consciousness: the waking state, the dream state, and the sleep state. And once we can transcend, transmute these three states, we enter into the fourth state of consciousness. It's also called Turiya, Turiya. And Turiya is what Eckhart Tolle Meister, he talks about this a lot. He talks about in the power of now. a lot about how the present reality is filled with so many dimensions. Even where you are right now, in the room that you are sitting, tuning into this Zoom, if you can really be present in this moment, there are so many activities going on in the present room that we are unable to even understand or feel because of our sensations, because the way we perceive this external world through listening, through seeing, through hearing, through tasting, all these sensations are quite on a grosser state. So once we start to purify them, once we start to meditate, once we start to chant Om and different mantras, we can come into a more subtler state of awareness. And in these realms, there is the power to penetrate and to transcend, to move beyond, to rise above the lower centers of life, and to meet and merge in the higher centers of divine consciousness. So, the state of Turiya here is the ultimate goal of any practitioner in any spiritual community, especially in India. Everyone in ashrams who are devotees, who are practicing, their goal is to move into this divine presence where they are merged with the ultimate creation of life. And there is no hindrance, there is no Maya. It's just you are absolutely one with the cosmos, and it's like you become a mantra. You become the Om. So now we will go on to the next slide. And this is explained, this diagram is explained through Mandukya Upanishad, which is one of the most oldest scriptures in India. And I would like for everyone to take this name down. It's Mandukya Upanishad. And there are online books and references that you can tune into and do your own self study. Because it's all about self study, swadhyay, how much you can practice on your by yourself. Because it's how much spirit wants to allow the information to come inside your being and for your part to open up. So now this quote is amazing. It says, "What has become, what is becoming, and what will become. Verily, all of this is Aum." And beyond these three states of reality, that too is Aum. And I want to share a personal experience with Aum. And Aum is an internal dimension, and it can be found in the pineal gland, actually, in our brain. It is this small little gland, just size of your little pinky finger, the nail of your pinky finger. It's that small, and but it is vast. It is super expensive. So once we can close our eyes and bring our total awareness into our pineal gland, right between our eyebrows, 2.5 inches inside, there is this space that we can explore. And my personal experience has been that you can come into Om and you become the Om. The sound becomes you, and it is deep, dark, it is not scary, it is reverberating with deep, oh, oh, oh. From all directions, this sound is reverberating. It's like a whale, it's like a big mammal. And this consciousness allows us to actually go towards the light. So once we enter into Om, then we can know for sure that there is possibility to move into Christ, to move into Krishna. to move into the crystallized dimension of life. So through Om, we rise up into the crown, and into the crown, we can meet and merge with Lord Christ, with Lord Sri Krishna, with the crystallized grid. So I want to know if there are any questions because we are a bit short on time, so I don't want to take too much time, and we can explore more next time.
So, guys, I give you the chance to come off mute. So, yeah, if anyone has any questions or reflections.
Thank you. What a Friday morning. Awakening.
That's some way to wake up on a Friday.
It's going to make my that return very meaningful.
Elaine says, fascinating. Thank you.
Welcome,
Thank you, Elaine.
It makes the chanting so much more sort of meaningful. You know, we learn how to chant in some of the meditations, and we feel it in our bodies as we chant, I suppose, but it's so lovely to see that three-dimensional and how it sort of all kind of creates this higher consciousness.
And this is the primordial sound, right? Sound is the sound of the universe, right? And is it correct that the universe, because the universe is constantly contracting and expanding, and it does it to this sound? Is this correct? Yeah,
it is true. And it's actually 7.83 hertz is the Schumann's resonance as well that has calculated, and it's true how it expands and contracts. The sound is right in between and right outside and everywhere and nowhere at the same time because it's like she mentioned that when we are chanting Om, we don't really understand and we just do it for the sake of doing it and just to feel some peace in our hearts. Because even if we chant a little bit, we just feel a little bit more peaceful than we were.
Mhm.
Now that we understand there are more dimensions to it, through awareness, we can go and deepen into our hearts, deepen into the pineal gland, and explore where is the root of this sound and where is it taking me. Come into the fourth.
Yeah, come into the fourth. And I think what Shiva explained at the start is something for you guys to reflect on before tomorrow, is this creation, sustaining, and destroying, and asking yourself, so from this mantra, what can I take from that? What part of my life am I at the moment? Am I creating? Am I sustaining? Am I destroying? Because I think we live in there's a constant disease of doing, right? We always think we should be doing more. And and this can be like a pressure where it's like, I should be creating, I should be creating, I should be creating, I should be attaining more and more and more. But sometimes in life, it's actually to sustain. It's to be just to be in pure presence. And then sometimes it's actually destroying. It's noticing in my life, okay, what is it in my life that I can actually destroy at this time? And through that, as Shiva said, you can then begin to create. Sometimes the destruction comes first.
And divine creation.
Yeah.
You surrender yourself to the divine, really, and you see the bliss and the magic that unfolds and unfurls into your life. Because then you become a passenger and the divine takes the driver's seat and drives you back home. And you enjoy the ride, really, because it's the egocentric limitation of the mind that wants to be on the driving seat all the time. But the divine feminine, it's in surrender. It's in saying that whatever happens, happens, and I am in total surrender of this.
Wow.
And that is quite brave, actually.
Wow. And one of the other aspects of the divine feminine that comes to me is this, and I know a lot of, it's not just, it's, I mean, it's a word thing, is this receptivity. So being open to receive. And I think this is something, you know, comes back to what I was saying about doing. We're always pushing. We're always pushing and trying to force things, but actually just, Shiva used the word surrender, surrendering and just being open to receiving from life, you know, and allowing the divine to work through you, as opposed to thinking you've just got to do it all yourself.
Just can I ask you there, you know, Jack, when we were during COVID and I used to do the Isha Kriya, how does that tie in with all of this?
That's a question. Was that Sadhguru's technique?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not the body, I'm not the mind.
Yeah, but that was a nice it was a nice practice, you know, that if done regularly.
It's the Shambhavi Mahamudra.
Do you know what it was called, Mum? The
Isha Kriya was it was like that chanting, but it was then like I am not the body, I am not the mind, and it was, but there was chanting with it. I haven't done it for ages, but it's kind of bringing me back to it after listening this morning. It's my closest I ever got to doing that kind of or you know, the closest meditation I've ever kind of done that brought me close to what you were talking about.
Amazing. And in Sanskrit, there is a word which calls neti, 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 neti. And it's saying neither this, neither that. It's just, I'm saying I'm not the body, not the mind. I'm not the sensations, I'm not my this, not that. So it's basically rejecting everything. And what remains is pure consciousness, pure loving consciousness. So it's also a deep practice in detachment that we can use. And as you know, spiritual development is considered, detachment is a prime key. So to constantly be aware about detachment, neti neti helps. Neither this, neither that. So you're right in the center then, just being a witness of the drama going around you.
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing that. That's really nice.
This is, remember, guys, we've spoken about this identity, I think maybe a couple of days. And a practice you can do before bed is just listing the things that you're not. And this is the practice that she was talking about. Like, I'm not my job. I'm not my bank account. I'm not, like, you can list out all the things that you're not. And he mentioned, I'm not the sensations. I'm not the emotions. I'm not the thoughts. I'm not the mind. I'm not the body. So if you know, for people who are like, who am I? Start with who you're not.
Beautiful.
And once you get to that space, and for some people, it's really uncomfortable because they've become so identified, especially people with like their job. And it's hard for them. It's why people like find it hard when they retire. It's like an identity crisis. And people can go through many of these when they lose their job because they've become so attached to it. They really think it's who they are. So they find it hard to detach. So an amazing practice is, as Shiva said, doing this practice and doing it before bed, where you just list out all the things that you're not. And then you come closer to realizing who you truly are.
Absolutely.
Great stuff, guys. Right. We'll take we'll take some questions. If anyone has any questions or even comments to make, if you're not comfortable on the camera, you can write it into the chat. I know it's a lot. We have the recording. You can watch it as many times as you like, which is amazing. And if you don't have any questions, are we going to finish with an Om?
We finish with 3 ohms.
3 ohms.
And then the 4th ohm is in silent in your heart, reverberating.
Now, so do we want to take any final questions? Any comments? Yeah.
I have a question. Can you explain again what the dreaming state is and what the sleeping state is?
Sure thing. So the first state is the waking state, which is Jagrat. Then we go into the dream state, which is Swapana. And in the dream state, we are basically not aware. We're just dreaming. It's like all things are happening. And it's like when we are sleeping, when we are sleeping, dreams are coming. And we are thinking that this dream is real, and it becomes as real as this reality we're living in. In our ancient yogis, they also say that this reality that we share is a dream as well. So if they say this is a dream, then we need to really wind back, and we need to go back into the root of like what is the original face before our parents met. It's as deep as that. It can go like if we say this is a dream, then who I am really, where I am really. Because if it's a constant dream, if it's a constant illusion, how do we break this matrix? And there's also a very famous guy called George Gurdjieff. He's a Russian guy, Russian psychologist, and he was also running programs. And one of his techniques that they were practicing in his group was every moment, even in the waking state, they would say, I'm in a dream. I'm in a dream. I'm in a dream. And that would be their mantra, basically. So I would affirm that I'm in a dream right now. So when I'm going into my sleep in the nighttime, I will wake up and I will say, this is a dream. And as soon as I bring my awareness, I break that dream, or I become a weaver in that dream. Then I know it's a dream, so I can play in that dream. I become a player. And like we can be tested many times in dream as well. Have you ever had an opportunity to save someone's life in your dream?
No.
Okay, it might arise very soon. So, because uh, consciousness is testing us as well. If we can remember our dreams, and the best practice to remember our dreams is to be empty stomach when you're sleeping, and before sleeping, having some sort of ritual or some sort of affirmations, a meditation to let your conscious mind l- inform the subconscious mind that I'm going to be doing this. So inform me and keep me aware. So it's all about bringing more awareness. And in the dream state, even if it's a dream, you can remember that. And slowly, with practice, with writing down your dreams, you can craft your dreams as well in time. And we call it lucid dreaming as well. So from that dream state, we can also go into the deep sleep state, which also they say the where the 90 minute of repeated eye movement REM sleep happens, where you get like you're really deep, there's no dream, and this is where also much of your healing is happening, or if there's some disease or some injury on your body, or um, something that needs to fix inside the body goes into deep regeneration period, and you can heal really quickly in the deep sleep state, which is important. Um, but then again, through meditation, once we start to deepen our practices, we can even be aware about the deep sleep periods. In our mountains, they say once you're awakened, you can never go back to sleep. So, so
I like that.
So once your awareness becomes aware about awareness, about how total you are as a human being, and you're not just a human, you're a multi-dimensional creature and just living this human experience on this planet, then all of this becomes just a play. And you come into such a deep state of peace and detachment that nothing can affect you.
Well, thank you, Sheep. Amazing.
Does that answer your question?
It does, but now I have another question. Can I?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Khadija, roll.
So what's the difference between dreaming and Maya? It's like now it's like they both became the same thing to me. in a way.
They they seem like they are somehow like same, but I will say they are similar. Maya is a field of illusion. Like she distorts reality. It seems like in the nighttime that I am walking in a jungle and I've stepped onto something and my mind immediately says it's a snake and I go into a panic mode. I have all the fears and I want to run away from that place. But in the morning time when the light is there, I see it was a rope. But I was stressed. I became very fearful. I had all negative emotions in my body. I reacted. So, what is just an example of how illusion works sometimes in our lives that we think it's too harsh. It is like, I cannot take this in the beginning, but it seems it's like, oh, it's just the illusion of mind actually that I'm reacting to the situation and creating so much tension and stress in this physical body. I'm creating the dis-ease in myself.
Yeah, I think now I can like tell the difference. That helped. Thank you.
And, with that, the most beautiful thing is we're now in a group of people and practicing meditation where we come back into ease. We move from dis-ease to ease. So you're in the right place.
Yeah. And it's such a beautiful group. I feel such a good energy from everyone here. It's amazing, really.
Mm.
Jack is doing such a fabulous job, just being a divine anchor as he's been fully guided into just serving from his heart. And he's, I will say, like, he's from Vishnu. He's sustaining the universe.
Thank you, Shiv. Amazing. Thank you guys. You guys' commitment is just amazing. I think everyone who's here has been here. Like I know Elaine and Mum joined a couple of days late, but you guys have been consistently here from Monday, um, which is just incredible. So thank you guys for being here, for showing up, and you. This is the beauty of it. When you have this commitment, you're open. I always say be open to miracles. Well, you've experienced this morning. You didn't know this was going to happen, but you've just downloaded some wisdom. So amazing.
Yeah, I want to next time talk about the mantra that can actually, it's a very powerful Sanskrit mantra. If chanted perfectly and correctly, then we can penetrate illusion and we can move into pure light. It's a very strong mantra and it's been chanting, people are chanting all over the world since centuries and eons. So we can, once we start to chant this mantra, we tap into this cosmic energy and take this energy and use it anywhere, wherever we are. And I still use it so, because we are still in illusion.
Yeah. This won't be the last time you guys will be seeing Shiva. So, yeah, we'll slowly begin to introduce some mantra. You've already had a great introduction today into the theory behind it. We've been chanting some ohms, and yeah, I look forward to penetrating that veil of illusion. I think we all do.
Yeah.
So we're going to close with 3 ohms.
Yeah.
So Shiva's going to guide us through it. Yeah, amazing. Let's go.
We just keep our spines nice and relaxed, gently close our eyes, and we're gonna chant AOM for 3 times, taking a deep breath in now. Namaste.
Namaste.